Good morning. So not sure if you've seen, but I put on the feed this morning sort of two styles that I was sort of going to mash up and put together. So. So I'm just sectioning the dog's head first. Right then, so I have sectioned it to a centre parting, and I've gone from the highest point of the head down to the back of the ear on both sides, and then through the back section I've just gone from the top of the ear around the whole of the back of the head and section this top section out the way. So what I'm going to do first, because the styles that I've shown you so far, I've always secured them with the band and started that off as the foundation. This one's not going to have a ponytail as a foundation to start with. So I'm just going to put just a line through here of just back combing and embed that more to the root area. So when we are putting the pins in, they've got something to hold on to a little bit more. So I'm just going to work my way across this line and just put a bit of back combing up to that root. And again, I'm not sort of going any further down the hair as long as there's a good amount in through here. And then the last little bit just putting in here. So I'm not touching it around the hairline. I'm leaving that little bit free of back combing, but I'm just going through this top section. So this just, once we brush this out, and obviously it's going to add a little bit of volume, but it's just going to give the grips something to embed in. So if you put them on clean, soft hair, they'll tend to slip, and the more weight is applied to it, it's going to slip further down the hair. So this back combing is just going to help hold all those grips tightly in and secure them a little bit better. And just going to pop, because her hair's quite freshly washed after we coloured it, I'm just going to add a little bit of hairspray to that as well. Right then, so I am going to start by working this top section first at the back, then I'm going to go from the sides in, and then everything else we're going to sort of just pin up and let loosely hang down. So I'm just going to start on this top area at the back first. And I'm just going to split this straight across. and then down the middle. So I've split the top section across in half, and then I split it down the middle as well. So through here again, I'm not particularly going to add any back combing to this at the moment. I'm just going to pin that up actually. I'm just going to just softly brush a little bit of this down so there's no hairs that are going to stick through it. So keeping the back combing in there, but just softly brush a little bit down. Right. So split that back into two. I'm going to pin one side up and out the way first. And then I'm just going to pull the hair over, and where the back combing is, I'm just going to lay it over that. And I'm going to pop a pin into the back combing. And that's secured it really quite nice and firm in there. And then I'm going to do the same with this section. And I'm going to pull it opposite way, light to where the back combing is. And then just with my grip, I'm going to push it into that section. So as I push the grip in, I've also pushed it up and under the previous section that's come over. So that helps hide the grip there as well. And then this whole top section, I'm just going to let that naturally come down. So I didn't recurl this hair, I just left it from as I curled it after the colour. Obviously you could either set it on the heated rollers, or you can curl it with the straighteners before doing the hair up. So I've just pulled that straight over the two sections that were underneath. And as that's now in there, I'm just gonna, again, that grip has gone into where the back combing was, and I'm just going to just pull it slightly looser through that area. So it's just creating a bit of volume, and it just makes it look a little bit softer as well. So that is the back section done. So just to recap, I've split the head from ear to ear. I put a row of back combing across that section, leaving out the hairline. I've then split the top section in half, put one side over then the other, pinning it into the back combing, and then just brought this section down and pinned it. And then I've just sort of gone over the top, lightly pulling the hair through to give it a bit of a softer look. So that back section is now done. So going on to the side section then, I'm going to put a plait on either side. And as you're coming round with the plaits, you just need to keep your hands moving really close to the head. So I've sectioned it as I want it to come round the head, so moving it round here. So from the top, I'm probably about an inch or so above the ear, and I've just pinned that other bit of hair over to the side so it's out the way. I'm just going to pop a little bit of hairspray on this because this hair had previously set in a side parting, and I put it in a centre. So that's just going to help me control it as I'm plaiting it. Now, obviously, depending on if your client wants sort of like a soft plait that goes into the hair, you can do your French plait. But if they want more of a standout plait, then go with the Dutch, because that's going to give it a more 3D look. So I'm going to go with the French just to make it a little bit softer. So as I work with doing my plaits, I just make sure my hands are just really close to the head as I go. I find this gives some more tight and neater finish, rather than holding the plait too far away from the scalp of where you want it to sit flush. So I've started with my 3 sections, crossed them all over, and French obviously comes over the top when Dutch goes underneath. And then I'm just making sure, like I say, my hands are really close to the head as I'm working, and my sections are really balanced. So I'm not taking a thick bit of hair and crossing it over, and then hardly any hair on the next one and crossing it over. Every bit of hair that I'm picking up is about the same size, density and thickness. So as I'm working this round, and I know the plait, I want to mould it round the head, I don't want it to just come down and stop. I'm pulling the plait towards where I want to aim it to go, and I'm moving around the body of the client as well, or the head of your doll. So I've started here and I've slowly worked my way round. So I'm just going to leave that little bit of hair hanging, and I'm just going to finish this plait off again. As I'm doing the plait, I'm keeping it quite close to the head to where I want it to sit to, and I'm working my way around the body as I'm doing that. So I'm going to bring this into the center now, and I'm just going to pin that in. I'm just going to double pin it to make sure it is really nice and secure, because this is only going into the hair that's on top of the back combing. I just want to make sure it's nice and secure. There we go. So just going to give that a little spray, make sure all the hairs are sitting in nicely. And then this is the bit of hair that we've got left to play with. So I'm just going to pin that out the way, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. So again, trying to keep it nice and balanced, going for about 1 inch above the ear. So doing exactly like I did on the other side, making sure the hairs that I'm picking up is sort of even, keeping my fingers really nice and close to the scalp as I work. And also directing the hair as I want it to sit on the head. So I'm moving around as I go. So now I've moved around the head, just going to show you, I'm just going to pin it into that back section again. And that one has held it there. I'm just going to put a second one in just in case. There we go. So again, just going to spray all those little bits of hair down. So just let that side section down and just moulding it with the 4 prongs that are at the end of my comb, and just really sort of letting it fall naturally around the back, but lifting it up enough that it shows off the plait that's in there. So we don't want it to show any lines in the hair, so we want to kind of like mould the hair onto that plait, but we also don't want it to hide the plait that we've just put in. So I've just secured that one section in, but I've just secured it quite lightly, and then I'm going to do the same on this side. Don't know how much easier this one's going to play because, like I said, dried the hair over into a side part, and I might have to Okay, so just working with this side, it's been a little bit more temperamental because of the way that it previously dried, and it wasn't in a middle part and it was in a side. So I've taken some of the hair and I've applied it to the other side, and brought it round so it's a little bit more on a side pattern now, but obviously the plaits fall to the centre. So looking at where we want to pin these, just going to softly pin them into the hair, and I want to pin it where the plait isn't being concealed. So I'm just going to pop one above the plait here. And then secure it a bit better into the back just here. So quite quickly there we have got the back and the top of the back done and the sides done. And if you wanted to, you could just pin a little bit of this hair up and over to cover those pins and leave this as a half up, half down. But I'm just going to finish off this back section with you. front. Just going to again give it a little spray. So then, I'm literally just going to pick some of the hair up. Obviously we've still got a bit of back combing that's underneath, and I'm just going to twist the hair as the curls form, and I'm just going to start pinning that hair in. And again, like I said before, I like to work quite symmetrically. So when I've taken a bit of hair from one side, I like to take it then from the other. And I'm doing quite a lot of this with finger work. I'm not really using brushes. I don't want to, you know, brush too much of the curl out. And every time I'm putting a grip in, I'm just making sure I'm feeding it into a section where I know I can overstretch the hair and cover the pin. I've got one exposed pin here from where I grip this side up, but as more pins have gone in, I'm quite confident now that I can take that one out and it's not going anywhere. So just here, don't know if you can see, I've got a little exposed pin right there. So I'm just going to manipulate that hair that I can pull it over the pin and secure it. And then if I'll just for a little bit of extra, add a bit of spray. Okay, so I'm going to keep working. So I'm literally just picking up the hair, twisting it up and through, and then pinning it where I feel it's sort of giving nice balance to the hair. And then as you get your way down to the bottom sections, I'm just twisting these ones up more. So just taking that bottom section, pulling it up. And then I've just got one last one here. And I'm going to just twisted that up. I'm going to make it a little bit tighter first, and then I can loosen it off. I'm just going to pin that into the top there too. Right. So all that is now been twisted and pinned in the bits that are hanging out as sort of the ends of the twists. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to grab, if I can find some, there you go. So I've got a little bit of serum, and I'm just going to work that just through those twists that are left hanging out, just to give them a bit of shine. And then from here, I'm just going to work my way round and wrap and place the hair. Again, still having bits that are falling out because we want it to look quite soft. But just making sure all the pins that are in the hair are really nice and hidden. Got one exposed there. So I'm just going to use that bit of hair. So I've just got a little bit of back combing coming through on that hair there, which looks a bit messy. So I'm just pulling that out with the prongs of my back comb and comb. And I'm just going to twist that up and pin that above the pin that's going to be exposed, just there. And then we just got this one left just here, which I'm going to pin up and pop over that. Again, I don't know if you can see these. I've got one exposed grip just there. So I'm just using this bit of hair and working with the curl. So the curl is coming up and over. And I'm just lifting that up and pinning that. Just in there. So again, I'm not wrapping these curls tight at all. I'm leaving them very soft. And then I'm just manipulating the hair afterwards to give it that softer feel. So that is pretty much it. So really, really simple, not many steps at all. Starting with, you know, breaking the hair into the parting, top of the ear, and then straight across the back, putting in that foundation of back combing across the bottom, and then working through the top section and securing that to have a bed to put everything into. And then putting your plaits in, and then working the sides so you haven't got any splits in the hair. So very, very simple, nothing too, I'm just going to spin the camera. There we go, nothing too detailed in there, but you've got the plaits falling through. There's no separation between the hair or the plait, it's just left really soft and brought the two in together. And then everything else is just folded in. So we left this bit quite baggy. We pulled the hair through, so it's really quite soft, but there's nothing coming out of there. It's really secure, pulling quite tightly. And then everything else is just quite soft in there. I mean, if you want to leave, I mean, you could pull a few more curls down and have a few more curls coming out of the hair. But again, you just want to make sure, like I've got one grip there. You could get a fine pin if you were really worried about them being exposed in any photos, and just grab the hair with the fine pin and just place it so you know it's going to sit on top. And then that is completely hidden everything. This was the slightly trickier side. I got a little gap here, and that was because the way the hair was dried prior. But again, I would just keep manipulating that down, or even if that was a client's hair, look how bad my nails are, you could spray that wet and re-dry it and pull the root area down. But there we go. There we have it. Has anybody got any questions on that this morning? No? Okay, what I'll do is I'll take some photographs for it and I'll upload the video onto YouTube for you. And then on Friday, I will do a colour on the mullet cut that we did on Monday. So if everybody's happy with that and you have no questions, if you do, please message me privately. I'm more than happy to answer any. And if you have any more ideas of things that you would like to see, obviously, like I said, I can't do anything next week, but the week after, I will get back to doing some more styles with you. Also, I will share with you all on the live chat. There's a competition going on through Professional Hair at the moment, and it ends on the 15th of June, so this coming Monday. There's not many people. I've been watching how many. It's through an Instagram competition. So again, if you want to enter and you don't want to put it on your Instagram, I'm more than happy to put it on the colleges and enter you through that, or do it on yours by all means. But it's called the Glastonbury theme. So they're asking people to do festival type hair. I'm going to do one and put one in just for the fun of it. But you've got the chance of winning some Cloud9 straighteners as well. I don't know if anybody's yet entered it. I keep looking at the hashtag and I can't see anything. But if you are interested, I'll put the details on the live. And if you want to have a play and have a go, it's worth entering. You might win yourself some straighteners, you might not, and you might just have a bit of fun doing it instead. But yeah, like I say, I'm going to put an entry in just for the fun of it, and if you want to too, I'll just share those details with you. But I'll pop some pictures of this on there and I'll put the video up as well. But thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you Friday.
Thank you, Leanne.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.